Dear Milanista, let me tell you, I like this jersey. I already read in my posts that some people hate it, some people don't like it. I really like the simplicity, how minimal it is, with just the black edge near the neck, the shoulder, black and red, the logo. Well, the sponsor, you cannot do much, right? 40 million a year, who they deserve to be there. They pay to be there. So only thing I'm not sure is the material. Makes me feel like it's a material that Fabrizio could sweat a lot with this kind of material. So I'm not sure. But in my opinion, there are two main points that I like about this jersey, which is definitely the logo right here on the right side. Now, this is not the first time that we see this logo. It's coming actually from the 80s when Milan was playing in Serie B. Later, I'm going to show you some pictures. The logo represents the devil. Why the devil? Because Milan is often associated as the devil. Il Diavolo Rossonero, I Diavoletti. And here you have three pieces logo. So the face, the body represented as a flame, and the tail. What I like also is the black star. I like it, these contrasts, because it has to always have this. It's very minimal. I like it. Makes me feel at peace watching this jersey. But also like the contrast in between the black star and the red logo. Hopefully it's gonna be the last star, last lonely star. Hopefully next year we can add another star. Oh man, I'm kidding. Of course we are far away. What is shocking, of course, it is the price, man. 165 euro for this jersey. I will never pay those money for a jersey, especially that knowing that this money goes to Jerry Cardinale. The other things that I like that not many people enlight, in my opinion, it is the logo in the back, that which is not we're just saying Milan. It doesn't say AC Milan, kind of representing the city. Not necessarily you have to say that you are Associazione Calcio Milan. You are Milan. Actually, in Italian, in Italy, when we say what team do you support, you just say Milan. You don't say AC Milan, and I like it because it's straightforward. Milan. That's it. Little details that, in my opinion, this is a very nice jersey. Also, if you didn't know, but guys, is just been presented now with a very sexy picture. Samuele Ricci, our new defensive midfielder. Look at that. Did you see that actually he is going to wear the number 4 for Milan? I didn't know that. There was not written anywhere, so I just said here on the website for Milan that you can custom your jersey and you can place the number 4 as Samuele Ricci. Now it is a great number. I like number 4. Historically was owned by, if I think about at number 4, somebody that comes in my mind, it is Demetrio Albertini, beginning of 90s, mid 90s. Demetrio Albertini, number 4. Nowadays, the jersey number 4, it is in the hands of it was in the hands of Ismael Bennaçer. Great memory from Ismael from 2019 with AC Milan. Love everything he did. Unfortunately, he's not anymore in the project. If he was for me, I will keep him because he's a baller in my opinion. But this club doesn't understand anything, so I want to give him away. Doesn't matter. Probably he's going to be playing in Fiorentina or in Bologna, I believe. So really happy for this jersey. Happy for Ricci, an Italian player coming in Milan. I was saying about this logo that the last time that Milan was had this logo was back. I can see the picture here clearly, 1981. 1982. This is the first year that actually Milan came back from Serie B and had already, you can see here, Franco Baresi with the Diavolo on the left hand side, with a very retro jersey. Look at that, the long sleeve. Actually, if you go on the website, you can still see the long sleeve jersey. It is available, beautiful in my opinion. But look at that, here you have also a long neck. This is spectacular. You can also clearly see that the material that was made in this jersey, it was not the same material that they use nowadays. Okay, players that definitely they at the time they didn't really care about how they look. Probably they were smoking cigarettes at halftime, but still they were bringing home scudettis, super copas, campionati, Champions League, and whatever. But well, also another interesting thing, guys, that look at the Rosa. The Rosa means the team that we were playing in, and look at the nationalities that you can read: Italians, 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 Italian, only one Scottish. Look at that. And guess who's that Scottish? This is a funny story. The only foreigner in Milan during those years that Milan was wearing the Diavolo as a logo, it was Joe Jordan. An interesting figure, especially in recent Milan history, with the face-off with Gattuso in one of the Champions League match against Tottenham. That's a very interesting find out. And now this is another thing that I want to talk in the video, because I posted a few days ago that Florenzi, it is about to leave AC Milan. Is due to, of course, it was time to leave. Also, he played probably a couple of matches last season, so clearly we need a new players. But as you guys know, I'm always been a supporter of having Italians in Milan. Now, I actually didn't know that it is exactly as Juan say, crazy that is controversial to one Italian player on an Italian team. It's a kind of a topic. I mean, I don't understand why. And people will say, well, probably because Italian teams is Italians play are shitty, right? I disagree with the statement, but I can understand that having Italians is important to appeal to the nationalist part of the fandom. But it's nothing about nationalism, of course. It's an Italian club, needs to have Italian players. Now, let's don't go too extreme on this. It's not about that. It's in my opinion is because it's part of tradition, because it's part of Italian teams plays in Italy every single Sunday for the last 125 years. So it's been built by well, actually it's not been by Italians, but has a lot of Italian history, and has Italian core, and it is very important to have a core of Italian players. Exactly as Andy say, I also believe in that having 3 Italian starter in the first 11 is healthy, and also 3 strong bench option to rotate. People saying, okay, give me 3 realistic options. We already have Ricci. And that's an interesting question. Absolutely, I understand. Andy say, thanks for challenging my view. And also, I would like to add that, for example, Udogi, which is is a left back now that Theo left. Leoni as a central defender. Also, you have Liberali, Zeroli, Camarda, all players that they are under 21 that they can be helpful for sure. I'm also saying this because seeing Italy in a constant struggle to qualify for the World Cup, for the European Cup, and compete at a high level, in my opinion, and also the fault is also from these clubs, from Milan specifically, that I don't remember who was the last player that played in it. I mean, only Sandro Tonali comes up in my mind in the recent year. But Italy, when won the World Cup, we had Pirlo, we had the Gattuso. There was 2 top Pippo Inzaghi, top-notch players. Inter in the last few years has been always on the top because they had a strong Italian core. De Barella, Bastoni, De Acerbi, De Frattesi, they always had a strong Italian core. The Juventus, that never won a Champions League, the Bonucci, the Chiellini, the Buffon, the Marchisio, they always have a core Italian. In the recent year, there was never a team that performed on a super high level in Europe, coming from Italy, that didn't have an Italian core. You can double check, you can go ahead, you can challenge me in the comments. I'm open to that. But prove me I'm wrong. Other than that, ladies and gentlemen, this is it. This is my view. Let me know what do you think down in the comments. Sempre forza al Milan. Forza al Diavolo. Ciao.